Welcome to Making Music. And this week we've got John Hernandez from Roland Corporation again, and Tim Breen, our Inventory Control Manager at Guitar Showcase, here to help us with some more goodies. Well, John, before we get into this, last week we didn't have enough time to talk about your band, No Nation, and you've got a CD out. And,
yes.
And we could take a look at the artwork to that. It's beautiful artwork on that cover, and I know it sounds good too, and maybe we'll hear a little bit of that. But tell me about this band and what you're doing here.
Okay, well, No Nation, this CD is actually a rock opera, and it's called Illumin, as in illuminate. It's a Latin root word, and it's a whole story which I won't get into now because it's long. But on our website at nonationmusic.com and read all about it. But this took 7 years to finish. It was a long process, and No Nation itself, there's three of us: myself, Stevie Keys, who's the keyboard player, and Ed Uliberry, a vocalist. And Stevie and I did all the music and intended on this to be an instrumental record. About 7 years ago we started. We realized something big was missing, so I called in Eddie, who also worked for Roland, and I heard his demo and I was floored.
All of you guys work for Roland?
Stevie does not.
Oh, I know Ed Uliberry.
But Ed Uliberry does.
Now, is everything recorded on Roland gear?
Absolutely. We used the 24-track Roland recorder. We tracked everything on there, including, I think in the last segment I spoke about the Bosendorfer 9-foot Grand. Just put it there, set it up. Recorded taiko drums at this big warehouse with the taiko dojo. And we have a lot of friends and guest artists on there. Ross Valerie from Journey is playing bass on all the tracks. Jeff Tamalier from Tower Power Guitar. There's Ross on there. I can see him there.
Oh, cool! There's a picture of Ross.
Yeah.
So he plays bass on
on all the
entire album.
That was one of the sessions that we tracked him at.
Okay.
Yeah. And Jeff from Tower Power's on a couple of tunes.
Okay.
And there's Jeff right there.
There's Jeff.
That's Stevie, keyboard player.
Cool.
Phenomenal player. He's been around for a long time. And then we have Steph Burns on guitar, who's currently with Huey Lewis. There's Steph. And
Huey Lewis.
Yeah, that's actually a $3,000 handmade acoustic guitar, Italian guitar. And if you look at the microphone, believe it or not, that's a Roland mic.
That's one of those.
But we used a feature called microphone modeling to turn that into a very expensive German microphone.
Cool.
Which we can talk about.
Who's this
later.
guy?
That's Steph Burns playing electric guitar straight in. Our Boss guitar processors right into the board, so you can see no amplifiers, straight in to get the tones that he got. And he's also played with Alice Cooper and Y&T. He's a phenomenal.
So you've got a cast of thousands on this thing.
Right. We have John Anderson from Yes, the vocalist. He's on one of the songs.
Excellent. Pinder,
that did the narration and was the original keyboard player for Moody Blues. And he did narrations on Nights in White Satin, does a narration for this. We've got a world-class Celtic fiddleist on here.
And it's ready. The CD is
ready. It's out.
So it's out and it's ready.
Yes, and you can purchase it.
Cool.
And by the time you see this, we actually might have MP3 downloads ready.
That would be nice.
Yes.
Because this is a digital world.
It's an iPod generation.
Well, tell us, that's interesting.
Okay.
Well, tell us about some of this gear. Now, you've got these two little tiny devices here.
Yes.
Boss is a Roland company. That's just one of their divisions. And Edirol
is also a Roland,
who makes that little device and some other things. Okay, well, tell us about the Boss BR600 first.
All right, so Roland and Boss have a whole line of recorders. This is the first one, and I call this notebook recording because it runs on AA batteries or a power supply. Right now I'm running it on AA batteries, and if you can see, it's very, very thin, and it comes with a little mini-style case, and you can put it into a guitar gig bag. It's that small. But don't let the size fool you. This is a complete recording studio. Everything from racks of effects to the recorder section, to the mixing section, to the final mastering, to everything. In fact, there's 64 tracks in here, any 8 of which can be up at one time, and there's a full-blown drum machine in here, which is separate from the 8 audio tracks. So you actually have 10 tracks for mixdown, which is very cool. And with 64 tracks, I can go over and do various versions of guitar solos or bass parts, or I could even bounce and have this huge project because I never lose my original tracks.
You can pick them up if you like something and add it back in.
Exactly. So let's take an example like on a Porta Studio or a tape-based record. If you record you have a 4-track or an 8-track. Let's say you record 6 tracks on an 8-track and you dub them down to a stereo 7 and 8, and you go back and you re-record those again, and when I mixed it, the guitar was too loud. Well, I'm done. I'm lost. That original information is gone forever. This is always living in here, so no matter how much I mess up, excuse me,
you can bring it back.
I can bring it, and away I go.
Now this is also an effects processor. Tim is playing through this device. All we have is these speakers. They just make it louder once again. Now,
exactly. I'm going to turn him down a little bit.